these are all false beliefs that were built during the time when people just worked in the office and it was normal. But now, as the entire world works remotely, there is a new opportunity, but I think still a lot of...
Hello out there, and welcome to our new Ask the CEO Q&A session here at the Virtual Frontier. Today's topic of our session is all about remote staff hiring benefits in 2022. The last year has clearly shown that working remotely is possible for many professions. Now, we see that a lot of organizations are still struggling with seeing the benefits of just getting the work done, no matter where your coworkers are actually located while doing their work. Today, we are going to discover what your organization can do to really crush it in 2022, hiring remotely without boundaries. See you in just a flash on the other side. So, Manuel, welcome in 2022, our first episode in the new year. And to kick it really off for our audience, let's talk again about the benefits of remote hiring in 2022 and how you can possibly get the best out of it, expanding your talent pool, not just to your local region, but make the whole world to your talent pool. So my first question or hint, maybe why the dream of having your local team in your office is probably over in 2022?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it doesn't have to be over, and I think it's not a dream. It's a big opportunity to have a hybrid team. You can still have your team in your office if these people live around your office anyway. But there's also the other opportunity to make, as you said, the entire globe or the entire world your talent pool and escape local staff shortages by just limiting yourself 100 kilometers around your office, which is what most businesses do, as they are just used to working with people that are on site in the office. But yeah, as the staff shortages gets harder and harder every year, especially in the digital world, IT and digital marketing, I think you need to find an opportunity, and there can be a new dream of having a global workforce where you find people in days instead of months or even years.
Man, but I just remembered that, or in visiting company web pages or from digital space, marketing space, whatever, you take a look at their career pages, and there are sometimes sites and sites full of talent that they're looking for, and it's just not moving. So I always have to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, there are solutions out there. Just go for it, right? Don't wait for the talent to come in maybe in 6 months, 8 months, whatever, how long it would take to get a Python developer or head of marketing in your local office, right? So
yeah,
the cost of opportunity is really big. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Look, if you are a project-based business, if you have projects in your pipeline that you cannot deliver or start because you don't have the right skills at the right time at profitable prices in your team, it's an opportunity cost that you just lose this revenue, right? And the profit related to this revenue, this is the one thing. Or on the other side, if you know that you have to start with digital sales channels, you have to build marketing funnels to grow your business online, but you have no idea how to do that, and you don't find these people locally. I mean, that's a funny thing, right? You want to grow your business online, but hire people locally. that's an issue, I would say. Yeah, but then you lose the opportunity of growing your business further because this is your currently biggest bottleneck. And I think, as you already said, there is a solution. I think just the problem is that these people don't see it as their solution, as they have more objections and see more problems related to people not being in their office than seeing the opportunity of solving the problem to get skilled talent fast. Right? And typical objections are, when they are not in my office, I cannot control what they are doing, or other people in other countries are not reliable enough. or they need this all-rounder that like is in the office and then meets with other people at the water cooler to solve really important problems accidentally. These are all false beliefs that were built during the time when people just worked in the office and it was normal. But now, as the entire world works remotely, there is a new opportunity. But I think still a lot of people, they see it not as their opportunity.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just get the work done. So my
if it was that
advice.
easy, yes.
Okay. Maybe we can talk also about the part where the parts, better say, when we think about enhanced productivity, the possibility that you can manage or self-manage your work, and also there's a huge cost of commuting and preparing this conversation today. I'm not sure if you have some data about it, but maybe you can share how they changed for your companies. Maybe just on the cost side, how much money you save from now by not having like 100 employees or whatever commuting every day to the office and back to home. So maybe what changed there?
I'm not sure if I save money by doing that, but I'm sure that I save people a lot of time. So that is the most significant factor. And on the other side, I think I make more money because I have people faster with the right skills that I need to catch a new opportunity. For example, there is a new project and we require some specific skill sets that we don't have as employees. Then in the past, what we did is either like asking existing people to watch YouTube videos and educate themselves, which is not so realistic to get good quality results, or we try to outsource to other agencies or service providers, offshoring, nearshoring, etc., which often ends in poor quality and not reliable results. You can watch my TEDx talk if you want to see how you can crash a business with that. So yeah, these are the opportunities, I think. And it's not about saving costs, because typically what people see when they compare the prices of having like people in other countries or freelancers or flexible workforce is just the hourly rate. But that's just one side of the medal. You also need to compare the hidden cost of opportunity that you cannot catch when you don't have the right skills at the right time in your team, or also the cost that you have when you have people, but you don't have paid work and you cannot utilize them properly, which typically happens in a service-based business if you don't have enough projects.
Yeah. How can I help in a remote work environment others to really dive into deep focus work? Or as a company, how can I enable that maybe?
I mean, you can root that deeply in your culture, that people don't interrupt each other constantly, which is, by the way, much easier if you're working remotely compared to if you are working desk by desk in an office, where it is so easy just to say, hey, can you help me with that? Oh, I have a question. Can you answer this question? Right? Remotely, it's not possible. You need to be more disciplined and maybe wait like for 5, 6, even 8 hours until you get a response. Or you just make another meeting. And that's why people are constantly in meetings, because they need this ad hoc communication instead of taking ownership over their questions, really thinking about what's my problem, and then wait until there's the next either regular meeting or like Google yourself or just send a message and then wait for 4 hours. And I think time boxes is the tool to reserve your time and then be focused, and then switch off all communication channels where other people could distract you. Switch off your mobile phone, your emails, your Slack, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and all these message channels that are just bringing you interruptions to your workday. Switch them off and then stay focused doing one important thing and be happy that you do the most important thing. And that's it. I would say if you want to foster this in your culture, just start doing it and be a positive example so that others can follow.
Yeah, that's where I want to get, because like you see that often and they say, okay, time boxing is good. And then you get a message from your team lead or from the boss, and they say, "Oh no, I have to answer that in 5 minutes or whatever," and you just interrupted yourself. So probably that is a good thing that enabled from company sides and yeah, in the company culture also.
I think there is that must be set by the leaders or the managers, because very often in businesses it is expected that you reply right now, right? You always need to be available on all channels. Whenever someone wants something from you, you need to be there. But that's, at least from my perspective, it's a very toxic culture, because it just like drives people crazy, multitasking. They get stressed out. They have no deep work, which results in less brain work, and less brain work results in poor quality, or complex problems won't get solved.
Mm.
Yeah,
exactly. Mm. Something that is mentioned in so many talks and conversation is like the shift to remote work did not really help to get people together, that they're really connected, maybe cross-team collaboration and connecting different people in different contexts. So there's a lot to say that that would be a disadvantage of remote work. But how could I really take care of that and help people in different teams that they can connect and work together in an interdisciplinary way and exchange information where it's needed?
I think you need to make these things more explicit. In an office, you just meet each other and then you have a talk if you want it or not, right? And you cannot escape, but you also have on the water cooler and at the toilet, you have these ad hoc communications. And this is often meant to be a link between people that is used to create relationships. And in a remote environment, you don't have that. And I'm happy that we don't have it, because I remember these days back when I had an office with a corridor that was, I don't know, 20, 30 meters long. And when I entered the office, until I came to my office, which was on the other side of the corridor, like the doors opened and like 3 to 5 people tried to catch me. Manuel, I have a question. Do you have 5 minutes? Do you have 5 minutes? And it took me like 30 to 45 minutes to get to my working place. That was totally stressful. I hated it. Really, I hated it. Now, today, if people don't book an appointment and say, let's meet, then it doesn't happen. But on the other side, it's such a low barrier technically to just meet with people, right? You save, because you save time as you don't commute to the office. So that's maybe 30 minutes to the office, 30 minutes back. It's an hour. You can use this 1 hour to connect with other people, either physically or online. But you have to do it explicitly. There is no accident that brings you together. And what I see often is that people don't do it. But then it can't be that important. If it was that important, they would do it. Mm. And as the barrier is not so high and they still don't do it, so it's not important for them, right? And it helps people to care for themselves. Because if they feel they need more social interaction and engagement, and they can do it, and maybe at a certain point of time, they realize, okay, maybe I really have to do it. I have to take my time to explicitly meet other people I like to meet with. And it's the same like reserving 1 hour in your time box to do important things, and don't just react to emails because they are just there. Like the colleagues in your office that are just there, and that's why you engage with them. You need to get into the driver's seat of like your life and what you need. And this is the same for getting focused work as well as for meeting people that you like to meet.
Yeah. Why is it so important that I involve possibly everyone inside my team or in the company when it comes to the improvement and feedback loops of the work conditions? So that I have like a constant feedback. What is going around? Is there anything in need or to improve the work environment? Is there something missing? So why I should probably get most possible people involved in this process.
I mean, because the work environment is for your people, it's just there that your people feel comfortable and they can be productive and they have everything they need to get the work done and feel themselves comfortable in that environment, in that culture, no matter if it is physical or virtual. I think this is important. And even if you have so many brains in your team, if you just ask one person how we can improve the environment, it's just one person with a limited view or perspective. And if you ask all others, you might have more complex answers and more options, and you need to decide which option you implement. But it's closer to the truth and impacts more people positively than if you just ask one person how to improve something for him or her.
Any hints or tips how you could collect those kind of feedbacks or and do this whole feedback looping?
Yeah, people sometimes hate me for that, but I'm not a fan of having like a meeting with everyone and talking to them, what do you like, etc. I'm a big fan of sitting down, asking myself first, what do I want them to ask? Which input do I need so that once I have this input, I can decide on what I want to implement and prioritize, and I'm really clear of what they want. For example, I could easily ask someone, okay, what do you want us to improve? And as this is such an open question, they might like tell you anything and everything. And then you end up with a lot of opinions and ideas, and it's so hard to digest it and create something that has a real positive impact on the team. So what I do is I really create like a questionnaire with maximum 10 questions, and then I send it over to the team. And these questions are typically first a rating, like on a scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you with our IT infrastructure? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with how people treat you in the business? Right? So they should give you a quantitative rating of how well this one thing is from their perception. And then the next question is, what do you want to see as an improvement to give us a 10? And then you get a quality. And then you have the rating and you see if there are big differences in different parts of the business. So you see that based on the numbers, and numbers don't lie. You can compare them. That's the beauty of it. You can calculate averages, etc. So you get more objectivity into that. And then you also have the qualitative answer where you see, okay, and what is missing? And then based on that, you can talk to people saying, look, you wrote this and this and that. I don't understand that. Can you help me understand what you mean by this and this and that? And then you can really implement improvements that make sense because you understand them.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about success in business. And as you just mentioned before, things are not just happening on the floor or on the water cooler, whatever. So I have to make space to share success, give credits, do appraisals, whatever. How can I do that in a remote or virtual environment? Because this gets often lost, or we don't spend enough time or detail to it.
That's a good topic because I just created a new onboarding video for our team members where I created an entire chapter talking about a culture of positive rewards and appreciation. And I think it's important because why we are needed in our job is to solve problems. And what typically comes to our attention are problems. And the higher you are on a management level, the more problems come to you, while the good things don't come to you. And that could result into people just seeing problems over and over again and never having an attention for the good things. So making a part of your culture to make positive things and solutions that were found to problems transparent to others, I think this is very important on two different levels. The one level is appreciate the person that helped you create the solution, or that brought a solution, or that did something positively to impact the solution. And then also share it with anyone else so that like everyone can see it. You can do this like in a company channel in Slack or Teams. That's the easiest thing. So that others can see the good things that happen in business. Yeah, I think this can even help people not get depressed in the long term because they only see the problems and have no idea what are the good things that happen in the business. I think this is really important.
No. Don't hide the details, man. You did a great example just, I think, a week ago. when I woke up in the morning and started my work, and I had a video message from you, like just 2 minutes, and we were talking about, or you were talking about what we have achieved, everything like that. And this was like unexpected. I didn't wait for it, whatever, but it was really a nice kickoff for a day, and really helped me
cool.
To see also your perspective.
Yeah, and I also got that feedback from really many people. I created over 68 video messages. I mean, for the team at FlashHub and at Bright Solutions, and I made them all personal. There are some people I even don't know them, right? Because I don't work with them directly, but I looked at their contracts and what they do and asked other people what they do and so on, so that I can like have something personal. And it was really great because I put together all the positive things and then appreciated people for what they contributed in the last year. So that was really fun, and it was great feedback. Some people were sending like, "Oh my God, that made my day. That's so awesome. Thank you very much." And it was a 2-minute message. By the way, Daniel, that is not against you. For some people, I created a 3-minute message. Sometimes that happens.
That's fine for me.
Good. But some people just a minute, but it was just by accident. Yeah.
No, I think the action is what.
Yeah, I think it's the content, not how long it takes.
Yeah. And I guess it's also in the end, it's also nice for you because you get also the feedback back, and people telling you what they feel and what they have seen.
Yeah. And I would appreciate if this would not come from me only, but if other people in the business see that as a positive example, as you should show up as a leader and do the same with their teams. Right? It's easy to, if you have a team with 5 to 10 people, just either make a meeting, reward and appreciate everyone, or create a personal message or whatever, just to make the good things visible. That is so important.
Yeah. Why working with a remote team can make your organization much more resilient to external events. We had just a big one the last 2 years. But how it really can help you to build a more resilient organization in respect to have just a local organization at one place.
I feel a little bit ashamed because I don't know what is resilient. Can you understand that?
Resilience. So building up a stronger environment where people are not affected that easily by external or internal events.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Okay. So I think what makes the remote culture really strong is that it's easier for people to be in the environment where they really want to be. They can be with their loved ones. They can be at home. They can travel the world. They can do whatever they want. They are not bound to a physical presence. And they are also a lot more flexible. And typically I see that when people get more flexibility, they also contribute and react with more flexibility for the business. And if you want to be more resilient, what you need is, I think, flexibility is the number one thing to like react flexibly on internal or external circumstances, problems, obstacles, challenges, however you want to call them. And this is easier possible to provide in a remote environment where people can work where they want, when they want, and how they want.
Awesome. One last question, or maybe some closing words, outlooks for 2022 that you would like to see in the workspace, or what you would encourage others to do?
Yeah, I mean, just I say that always, right? You should just try it. And I see that very often when people send me some requests for, they need a team, they need freelancers, etc. They say, okay, I need this, but I have so poor experience in the past. And what they typically then do is they say freelancers are not reliable, or remote workers are not reliable, or this doesn't work for me, right? But instead of like taking this one size fits all statement saying this doesn't work for me, and in the end you end up with like having no alternatives because you believe nothing works for you, just try to change the perspective and ask yourself, how can I make it happen? And why wasn't I able to make it work while it works for others? And this is how you open the door for new opportunities much wider than always finding a reason why things don't work and then make it final. That's the only thing. But I think this will have a huge impact.
Manuel, thank you very much for your time. We see each other next week on our second episode in 2022. Let's get this year kicked off, and thank you for taking the time again.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We hope you found this session helpful. Help back to our in-depth blog article on 5 hidden benefits of remote staff hiring. Did we miss something in this conversation? What are you doing to overcome local talent shortages? How can we do better so you'll get more value out of our content? Let us know in the comments and reviews below. We love to read and respond to your comments. And one thing before you leave, hit the subscribe button and give us a thumb up and share the session around with your friends and colleagues so they can take also advantage of this content. Sign up for the free business builder training on flashup.io and learn more about how to scale with your business at any time, work with global top talents and make work better. On behalf of the team here at the Virtual Frontier, I want to thank you for listening. So until the next episode, keep exploring new frontiers.